Yo, guys, what is up? It's your boy here, Ken. We gotta talk about this. Y'all already know what we're gonna talk about. Y'all already know what the fuck we're talking about tonight. CM Punk. CM Punk debuting tonight in AEW. All the rumors, all the hype. Well, the rumors that I should say Shaw from Fightful, because he was the guy who tipped the news off that Punk was in talks with AEW. Um, all the week, all the 2 week hypes, it's all been building for tonight. I didn't get to watch it. I didn't watch it live because I was out at a concert in Chicago. But I had my fucking DVR set, and you bet your ass when I got home, I turned on that DVR, and I was surprised they opened up the show with it. But like, man, if you're gonna kick off the Friday show, kick it off with the return of CM Punk, and they hit it with Cult of Personality. The crowd tonight in Chicago in that arena, they erupted. I mean, this was awesome. This was awesome. You know, there's been a lot of for a lot of rumors and hype building to CM Punk coming on tonight in AEW. There's been a lot of talk about CM Punk. Not really just, I mean, not just so much from wrestling fans, I guess you could say, but a lot of wrestlers from within the industry. A lot of wrestlers with podcasts have been coming out and saying, "Oh, Punk's not going to draw. He'll give AEW some buzz, but he's not going to move the needle." Or you have John Cena cutting a promo who kind of cut a promo last Friday that alluded to CM Punk. Roman Reigns yesterday had an interview speaking on CM Punk, saying that I don't know how they got in a conversation, but him saying Punk isn't as big as a star as John Cena and The Rock. The two people that Punk had complained about. Punk didn't move the needle, and Punk wasn't a big draw. Now, a lot of people I felt kind of took that out of context. I heard the interview. I don't think Roman Reigns meant it in a bad way or taking it as a shot at CM Punk. I think he truly felt that. But, to the veterans, though, guys like, Disco Inferno, uh, you know, all these other veterans and that make these opinions and stuff. Who the fuck cares? Really, who the fuck cares? Look, as wrestling fans, we shouldn't give a fuck about ratings. Now, ratings do matter. That's what keeps the lights on, in the building and keeps the place running. But as long as you put on a good, compelling product and a good, storylines and whatnot, and put on good wrestling matches, that's all I care about. That's really all I care about. As a company, yeah, you wouldn't care about ratings, but as a wrestling fan, who gives a fuck about ratings? Just put on some good wrestling. And to me, in AEW, they have some criticism. Some of the criticism is warrant. Some of it's not. But to me, in comparison, in AEW's 2 year existence, they've put on more entertaining shows for me as a wrestling fan than WWE has in the last 2 years, by comparison, bar none. And that's not being a biased fan. That's being an unbiased, truthful wrestling fan. So to all the veterans out there, and even for some of the older wrestling podcasters like Kevin Castle, who gives a fuck? Like, I'm sorry. Tonight was a moment. It was a moment in wrestling. It was a moment for the AEW brand. This was history tonight. CM Punk is a big star. Is CM Punk on the levels of or Rock or Steve Austin? No, but nobody is. Not even John Cena. John Cena does have crossover appeal, but that's because the WWE machine has been pushing him so hard for 15 years. So you're gonna get, that the end result of what you see of John Cena as far as his career being pushed up to the next level. But even by comparison, John Cena's not even on the same level as a Rock or an Austin. So is Punk on that same level? No. But to deny and say that Punk was not a big star, you're an idiot. The guy's been gone for 7 years, and people still have chanted his name in arenas for 7 years. Not just Chicago. Punk's a big deal. Him being with AEW was a big deal. Of all the moments of AEW in their 2 year history, This to me was the most important signing and the most important moment of their company's history. I would have said John Moxley to me was that first warning shot for AEW to say, hey, we're serious. Then they signed Sting. That to me was saying like, okay, AEW, they have some money to get Sting. Now that they have CM Punk, not only does that signify that they got money, but to me that means that they're here to stay, and AEW are here to play. And when I say here to play, I don't mean be direct competition to WWE and compete with WWE. I mean solidifying themselves as a legitimate wrestling company, a legitimate alternative that can compete, whether that be indirectly or directly. I would like to say more of indirectly because they're not competing one-on-one, head-to-head with any of WWE's programming. They did for NXT for about a year and a half, but no longer because NXT moved on to a new night. But this was a big deal. Wrestling fans on Twitter all elated. Other wrestlers within the industry, I mean Matt Hardy, Lance Storm, you name it, all giving praise for tonight's show. Kelly of all people, like saying this was a great night for wrestling. Like, this got some people's attention. Now, how AEW handles this moving forward, we don't know. But are people going to watch? You damn sure right they are. And deservingly so. Punk's 42 years old. He's at a still good age. He's not too well past his prime. His body isn't really beat up and banged up to shit, to where, he wouldn't be able to compete. They did have a media scrub after Rampage. Punk did say that he did not sign a part-time deal. And Tony Khan chimed in and said, yeah, Punk's in this for a while. So Punk's not a part-timer for AEW. He's not doing a Brock Lesnar. Not that I had any complaints with Brock Lesnar when Brock Lesnar was a part-timer in WWE. But my point is, Punk's not a part-timer. He's in this for the long haul. He's a full-time state guy. This is exciting. Me as a Chicagoan and a Punk fan, this is exciting. There was a grown-ass man in the arena tonight that was in tears. Punk looked emotional. Punk was emotional. Punk was teared up. Punk had a very heartfelt speech and said, look, in 2005, I left Ring of Honor. I cried because I was leaving professional wrestling. In August of 2021, I'm back in professional wrestling. Because when he left Ring of Honor in 2005, all the way up to him, exiting WWE in 2014, he basically said, that wasn't wrestling. That place beat the shit out of me and my passion for wrestling. He basically said that tonight. And obviously we've known that anyway. That's how Punk felt when he made his exit out in WWE back in 2014. But he reiterated that again tonight. So this was huge. This was awesome. This was a moment. As soon as tickets were made available for the All Out pay-per-view at the movie theater, I bought it immediately today for me and my friends and a couple of my family members. We're all going to see the All Out pay-per-view. Since we weren't able to go there live in person, the next best thing is we're going to see it at the movie theater that they'll be playing up the street in my home for $25. Not bad. This is exciting. I'm excited for AEW. I'm excited for Punk. I'm excited for the potential for both parties coming together. And like I said, this is huge for AEW. This to me, and look, we got to back it up here too. Not only do we get Punk tonight, but let's also see the rumors and talks of Daniel Bryan coming in for the New York show in September. If you get Punk, which we got, and possibly Daniel Bryan right on top of that, AEW are here to play. Like I said, they're serious. They're making the right moves. They're getting the right guys. This is awesome. I mean, like, I'm genuinely, as a wrestling fan, I am genuinely happy. Like, this puts a smile on my face. Like I know it has for so many other people that I'm talking with on the phone and I'm saying the reactions on the internet, on Twitter. This is awesome. You guys let me know what you think about CM Punk being back in AEW, or being back in wrestling after 7 years. That's another thing too. This is a guy who's for so long said he's not interested in wrestling. He hates wrestling, which you had to believe him. You had to believe him. And whatever they talked about, I would love to have been a fly on the wall between Tony Khan and CM Punk and whomever else that may have been involved in these conversations. Because this is a guy who you believe, for all intents and purposes, it was true. He was done with wrestling. For you to get him back after a 7-year hiatus and kind of rejuvenate his interest or his love for wrestling, which you clearly saw tonight. He was emotional. Like, man, I miss this. Like, man, this is awesome. He was soaking it in. This was a moment tonight in wrestling. I would have loved to have been a fly on that wall. I would have loved to have been a fly on that wall. So for them to bring Punk back after a 7-year hiatus and kind of rejuvenate maybe his passion for wrestling, kudos to AEW on that. But again, like I said, you guys let me know what you think about this. I want to let's talk about it, guys. Let me know in the comments below, and do yourself a favor, like this video and subscribe. Peace out.